I want to die. I want to die. I don't want to do this anymore.
And I wrote letters to my sisters, my parents, and one of my best friends. And I went to the bathroom.
I got really, really, really bad.
I wouldn't wish what I felt on my worst enemy ever.
Everything I heard or saw or felt or experienced was colored by depression.
There's really no words or imagery that I could really use to explain how broken and how at the same time I felt so numb, but I felt everything.
Cut myself like 3 times a day. During those like 3 days, I ended up with a lot of scars. I heard somewhere, if you do it once, it's an experiment. If you do it twice, it's a test. And if you do it 3 times, you're hooked. The only moments where I could actually focus on something was when I cut myself. You get this rush of like a bright red color and this like focus on the pain that's just kind of lacking in your life up until then. It hurts, it's there, I can focus on that. But then it would fade away again, you know? So I'd do it again. I'd be like, okay, this one, I can focus on this. I know I tried to journal because that's something people say helps, and all I ended up doing was completely blacking out a page in my journal with like a thick Sharpie, just making it completely black. And I was like, yeah, that seems about right. That pretty much captures how I'm feeling and my thoughts at the moment. I'm so worthless and I can't do this and I'll never be able to do this and it's too hard and I don't want to, and if only I'd never been born, I just don't want to exist anymore. And if I could, you know, if I thought killing myself was gonna mean I stopped existing, I think I would have done it.
It's the way I explain it is that there's a voice. There's a voice in there, and not like in a multiple personality way kind of voice. It's like your own, it's your own voice that you hear, but it's not you. That you have two kind of in there. There's the rational you, and then there's the mental illness you, and they're constantly at war. And so you have to tell yourself that that other voice isn't true. But when that voice has been the one that's so loud for so long, to silence it is a completely different thing. But once you can gain that control and turn it into whispers and learn to keep it at a whisper, that's when you kind of have it back. You have yourself back.
Most suicides are an impulse decision. In 15 minutes, you'll start really wanting to, and 15 minutes later you will do it, or you'll get over it. So there were a few points. There were a few, I think, 15 minutes for me, where if I'd had the means, I might have tried. But I didn't. You know, and I was like, I remember one of them in particular. I was like, if you can make it through 15 minutes, like, I guess I told myself, like, if you're still feeling this way in an hour, you can do it. You know, I gave myself the liberty. If you still feel like this much you want to kill yourself, you can try. You can go for it. But you have to wait an hour.
My mind wasn't me. It really wasn't me. I was so gone that not even the other voice was there.
You are just messed up, and you will always be messed up, and life will always suck. And you can't handle it. So, what do? You kill yourself. It's wrong, it's a lie, but yeah.
And there was only one way I knew how to do that, because they were just getting louder, and it was just getting harder.
When you have stuff that you're actually looking forward to, and you have, I think the big thing is hope, then you can make it through. But I think the 15 minutes are when you just utterly lose hope that it'll ever get better. And I think that's what depression does to you, is it robs you of hope. It says this is the way life is, and it's never gonna be any better.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not my illness. And to just be patient, that it's a process, and anybody who's suffering from it wants nothing more for it to go away, but unfortunately it never really goes away, it just gets quieter. And so to just understand that it is a process just like anything else in life. It takes time and it takes a lot of work, and there are going to be moments where it's really hard, and there's going to be moments where it seems like it's gone forever. So sometimes just being there and just listening and just making someone who's going through a hard time feel like they're important and that their life matters to this world, that as little as they feel and like how the world will just go on without them, it won't, that their life matters. and just telling them that and reminding them that they are worthy of something greater. So my first tattoo I got the summer after I was released from being in inpatient care. It's a half a sun, half a moon joined together, and the thought behind it was that every night has a morning. And so, in my words, to be poetic, was that the light will always conquer the darkness, but even in darkness, there's light because you still have the moon to help guide the path with its light. My second main one that actually has any form of significance, meaning to me, is my sleeve, which is a mermaid and a lotus, the lotus being the flower that's beautiful but grows in muddy water. And mermaids are very self-loving, and it's actually very large because it's covering the scars from a night that will forever be with me. And it was to show that you can turn something ugly into something beautiful.
When I got better, it was like, well, this isn't so bad. I don't really want to kill myself anymore. Kind of looking forward to ice cream next week, you know? The colors, man. I didn't realize. I didn't know that I wasn't seeing colors the way they were. I remember the first sunset I saw, like really saw. I went up on this hill near our house, and I was looking at it, and the wind was blowing, and, you know, I could hear the cars, but they weren't bothering me. And I could, you know, I could feel the wind on my skin, which felt amazing. Just kind of like blowing over me, and I didn't care that it was blowing hair into my face, you know? It's like, you know, the breeze feels amazing, and I'm not cold, and the sunset, man. Lots of orange. Lots of beautiful, beautiful orange. And the sky was so blue, and the green was so green, and there were so many different colors of green, and so many different variations of blue, and they were all pretty, and I beat it, you know? I'm not depressed at this point. I know what they say, it's a chronic illness, and you'll always struggle with it, but it's been a few years, so I feel pretty good about it, you know? And I had that one, like, really just wake up moment, kind of miraculous. And then I struggled with it again, but I got better again. And then I struggled with it again, but then I got better again. So I don't think it's a lifelong condition. I know for some people it is, but it doesn't have to be.